Here we go.
Christian here with cheap beat up Elvis vinyl. Got a couple of nice little additions to the collection. Boom. First off, 45. Found this one in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. I got stung in one night. Saw it up in there. I thought I might have it, but I took a chance. Got home. I didn't have it. I got to get a better inventory list instead of relying on my memory, because I can't remember anything. That's what I was thinking. I can't remember anything. And this is a beautiful one. Love the colors on it. Somebody had, this was number 34 in their collection. Some of those old 45 collector's boxes, it would be a little box, put your 45s in them, and they would have a number. And you write your number and then put your number on the thing. So I was glad to get that one, because I haven't been getting very many 45 picture sleeves lately. Until that one. Next up, got a little variation of an LP. Got a variation of this one. This is the one I already had. I Got Lucky. Came out in October of '71. In case you forget what Lucky is. 4-leaf clover. I'm always thinking. Nice little back. Advertised on a couple of other records. Here's where it gets interesting. Says that it's a Dynaflex. Says that it's an RCA Camden. RCA Camden. Now it's a Pickwick. It says Camden down here, but it says Pickwick. But this ain't a Dynaflex. I mean, if it is, it's not a good Dynaflex. So that was a little iffy. Here's the one that I picked up. This one came out in December of '75. I Got Lucky. You see when you compare the two covers, same picture. They just changed up the font on it. On the back of this one, it doesn't have the Dynaflex. Same 4 records. And it has the thing about Canada. Distribution au Canada. Perhaps that's French. Here was the insert, Pickwick, but it says 1980. So maybe somebody just shoved this up in here, but it's the same disc artwork as the other one. So I don't understand about those I Got Luckies on Camden. Were they on Camden labels on the records? I've heard other guys on podcasts, can't remember which one it is. I'll put his name right here, great podcast. And he was saying that the Pickwicks were all kind of variations. Some of them didn't even come with sleeves, and sometimes you would get a Pickwick. I believe he said sometimes you would get a Pickwick and a Camden. So maybe that's what it was. Which brings us to a very nice friend of mine, Nancy. Heard that I was collecting Elvis records, so she brought me her Elvis records. I think they might have belonged to her mom or her aunt. It's a real nice copy of Harum Scarum. Of course, this came out in October '65. Nice copy of it. But she didn't have one, she had two. 2 copies of Harum Scarum. This one is a little more loved. It's got some Scotch tape around it. They're both monos. Same thing with 50 million. Now this one has a name on it. This one has Jeanette Gilliard. Now maybe that was her aunt. Maybe that was a friend. I don't know. But I think she said she got them from her aunt or her mom. This one has some water damage on it. Down here we get flooded a bunch. So this one probably went swimming. And another one from Jeanette Gilliard. beautiful mono of the Christmas album. So thank you for those, Nancy. Another buddy of mine, Curtis, brought me a few Elvis DVDs. How nice. A whole bunch of them. You know, just for the artwork, I like the variations of the artwork that they would have as they would re-release these things. So here's a whole bunch of them. Thank you, buddy boy. So I have all those, and then we have a couple these. Now these, I used to see these kind of Elvis documentary compilation things. Man, for a while, I saw a few of them for like $1, $2, and I'd pick them up, and they'd have really good stuff on it. They'd have little interviews, old TV shows. There's one that has all the film of him fishing with June Monico. Picked that one up, I think, for $1, and it was brand new in the stores. Like, you know, DVDs were real cheap for a while there. So anyway, here's a couple more. Really interesting to put these things on because they'll have a little bit of a different take than the regular documentaries. Now this next one here, I was down at Black Flower before it was called Black Flower Records. It was called Retro. And no, I think they had just changed the name. So I went up in there. They had some Elvis stuff. I picked it up. And then the owner, Howard, he says, "Hey, Christian, do you collect the VHS tapes?" And I said, "I've got a few, but I don't go out of my way to collect them." And he said, "Man, I got some back here. I got a few, and they're just taking up space. Do you want them?" I said, "Sure." So he brings these out. Really nice. The 68 Comeback Special, One Night with You, which, from what I understand, this is the uncut version of when they're sitting in the round with Scotty and DJ and a couple of other guys. So that's really cool. And then they had these, the great performances, Center Stage, and The Man and the Music. Now, what I didn't realize until just now, look at this. These open up, and they have like a little booklet. Man, that is really nice. That is really nice. And it's like that in this one too. I think there were 3 or 4 of these great performance videos. So here's 2 of them. And they got these nice little booklets in them, which just make it that much easier, that much nicer. And he says, "Oh, and I got this too. A couple of little DVDs. Elvis and Pat Boone, Rockin' Rivals." He said, "And I got this. There you go. These right here." So here we go. We got a whole bunch of them from this series here, which is the Elvis Presley collection. A whole bunch of them from that. We got a clam bake that's still sealed. Nice. Whole bunch from this collection. A few from this collection. Frankie and Johnny, Follow That Dream, Tickle Me. And what we got here? Whoops, excuse me. Aloha from Hawaii. Fantastic. So that's a really good foundation. I already had some VHSs, but this, when you add this to it, now I got a collection. So now I got me a whole bunch of Elvis VHS tapes. They're different versions of the same releases, different artwork on it. Very nice. So I think I'll start picking those up when I see them. Had a whole bunch of fun doing it. So y'all get out there and pick yourself up some Elvis stuff. You know, if you go to the right places, you can get this stuff really cheap. If you go to the wrong places, well, you're going to pay the high prices. But just looking at this stuff is cool. So go out there, start yourself a cheap beat-up Elvis vinyl collection, or VHS, or DVDs, or trading cards. I saw some of the old Elvis trading cards in a place. Didn't have the whole set, just had a couple of strays. Can't remember what the guy wanted for him. Well, it was a gal. Can't remember what she wanted for him. I don't know why I didn't buy one. I should have just bought one, just to have it. If I go back and they're still there, I'll pick me up one. Remember, we've had tons of presidents, tons of governors, senators, mayors, dog catchers, whatever. But we've only had one king. Thank you, Elvis. Okay, fine.